How's it going, everybody? Damon from FWF Outdoors, and I'm in Blaze Orange, baby. It is opening day, Wisconsin rifle season, November 22nd, 2025. I'm out here with my buddy Coda again. He's out trying to get his first deer, and I got several tags I get to fill this year. And I'm excited because they've been running wild. I'm gonna end up walking him to his spot, and then I gotta go the complete opposite direction and go to my spot, and hopefully we can get some deer down today. So, wish me luck. Well, we found a nice log to sit on. Or sit behind. We bumped one out of here in front of us when we were walking in. And right on the edge of a downward slope of a finger of a ridge, looking into this kind of a flat plateau in this bottom here. And we're starting to hear shots all around us. Shooting light was like 10 minutes ago, but this cloud cover makes it so dark it doesn't seem like it. I think we got a good opportunity to see one today. Hopefully Dakota can get on his first deer. Yeah, right in front of us and back here is where I'm expecting them to come from. There is a chance that they can come from behind us too. We snuck in here pretty good. And we just heard shots real close behind us, so should be a good time. But I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna start watching for deer because it's getting hot. So. That looks like a little buck. His nose is right to the ground. There's another one right here. See it? Do you see her? Just be still and wait for her to move. Oh, it's a fawn anyway. Yeah, that's a young one. We'll let her walk. I think we need to move further now. I actually think they were both small bucks. I think one of them was just a button buck and the other was like a spike or something. Dude, this is crazy. almost thinking we should move further down. That way when they, go on, because they keep going in this bottom right here. So I wonder if we just hop over to the other side of these branches here real quick. Make a different spot and kind of aim ourselves this way instead of this way. Be better off because that's now the third deer that's come out of there. And it's 7:25. But yeah, let's pick up real quick and we'll sneak in these branches right here. Alright. We moved down the deadfall a couple yards. And I overcalculated on where they were going to be. Because I thought they were going to come out from in front of us in this draw. And instead they're coming down the trail that we walked in on. We had 3 deer show up within 20 minutes of each other. The one looked like it looked like a really nice doe, but it was by itself. So I was waiting for a buck to pop out. And he couldn't get on her fast enough. And then the other 2 that came out looked like small bucks. The one had to have been like a spike or a little fork and horn or something. It was not big at all. And then running with him was probably a button buck. Because I wish I would have had better video of the first one, but he was like digging his head into the dirt trying to follow that one doe's exact trail, so I think that was a buck. So that would have been cool, but I didn't get a good view of that one. And then the button buck, it was a fawn for sure, that was behind him, kind of was out in the open for a minute and passed on that one. I'm not shooting any more damn fawns this year. Tired of everybody giving me crap about shooting fawns. There you go. I passed one on video. I could have shot that little turd like 4 times. But we got about half hour, 25 minutes here before he's got to pack up and head back and then grab all of his stuff and leave to go to work. And then I think after he leaves, I'm just going to end up doing my own thing. I make my regular loop. Then kind of see what happens from there. But I think this spot right here is definitely a spot of interest. I'll probably end up making a ground blind here later on midday, and then tomorrow morning I might come out here and sit. But yeah, so far, seen deer on opening day. That's not bad. That's the most deer I've ever seen on opening day in like 5 years around here, so that's pretty good. Yeah, first deer of the season that you've actually seen. Don't worry, bud. Like I said last night, you've got a lot of season left to get a chance to bag a first one, because it's like, this is the hardcore stuff. And then as it gets later on in the season, everything kind of starts winding down and the pressure starts lifting and gets a lot easier from there. Just the only thing you really got to deal with is the cold. But, well, I mean, hunting in negative temps ain't fun. Yeah, we're going to stick around for another 20 or so minutes and then have him walk out. And then I'll make my loop around and make my loop, go back to camp, see if anybody got anything this morning or seen anything, and then Then we got the afternoon. And then it's going to be just me on the video for now. So I got Dad, Grandpa, and then the 3 of my cousins here too. So should be good. Should be fun. Hopefully someone got something today. It sounded like there were shots over by my dad, so hopefully he got something. But yeah, so far not so bad. Actually doing pretty good. But I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna start watching for deer again, and yeah, hopefully we can get one in the next 20 or so minutes. Well, there he goes. Yeah, he's got to go to work at like 10 or something. It's 8 o'clock now. He's a good drive from his house, but it's 8 o'clock. So what I think... Yeah, I think I'm going to go walk with him because he's already getting lost. To be continued. Alright. Oh, crap. Nice. I just dropped Coda back off at camp. And now I'm walking to the spot that I was originally going to hunt this morning. It's just after 8 o'clock. And I'm walking in the thick of it down this trail. And I'm going to hopefully push deer out to either Tucker, my cousin, or Daniel. I don't know if anybody got one down this morning, but off camera, when me and Coda were walking out of the woods, right before we got to the trailhead where we came in from, I looked behind us and there was a spike following us. And apparently we were moving a little too quick, and he caught us at like 70 yards, and all I could see was his head. So wasn't able to get a shot on him. We're going to be walking through the thick of it, and hopefully we can push one to somebody. But yeah. Should be fun. Stay tuned. So, I kind of took a detour. If there's a beaver dam or a beaver pond that is no longer flooded out, don't walk through it unless you have burr-proof pants and a decent set of boots on, or waders or something, because these little things are a pain. I don't know what the hell they're called, but they are a pain, and walking through them, they get on everything, and I mean everything, and I hate it. Luckily I have another pair of pants back at the camper just for this occasion, because I kind of figured it was going to happen. But anyway, we're out here in a bunch of open softwood trees, and I'm walking along the edge here. Over there is a clear cut, old clear cut, and it pinches off down that way into a little funnel that goes from swamp to clear cut to this. And normally I would sit there opening day and I'd usually see one. Obviously this morning was different because I had Dakota with me, and we seen some deer this morning. But walking just along the edge of this, just trying to see if I can kick something up in the open, I found a feed tree. There is a handful of oaks over here in the middle of all this maple and giant white and red pine. And I think this is definitely going to be a spot of interest, because this is fresh sign. I mean, there's fresh scat. I mean, you can see where they've been kind of scraping up all the leaves and stuff, so I know it's a deer sign. but I think we're just gonna follow the edge of this clear cut, and we're gonna go that way and eventually end up on the bottom side of a ridge. And then I think I'm just gonna side hill that ridge and then work my way around, and then make my way back to camp because my cousin Daniel got a buck, so I can share that with everybody. So I'm gonna keep walking. I'm gonna figure out how to jerry rig this camera on something so that way I have somewhat of an action cam if something like pops out. I have my GoPro, but my battery charger's at home. So we will try to figure something out. But yeah, having fun. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna keep on trucking. Man, it is dead quiet out here now. That makes sense. Alrighty. Sorry for the brief intermission. Yeah, kind of just walked back through that swamp and back to camp, had lunch. Got to see the buck that Daniel shot. I'll have to record that later. But we're walking back out to the same spot that me and Dakota were at this morning. figure I'd go sit there for the evening, and I can also build them a blind in there too, because I think that spot is a pretty good producer. Me and Dakota seen 4 this morning. Grandpa, he seen 5. Daniel saw 1 and he shot it. Tucker seen a doe and he couldn't get on her. And then my dad and Tiana, baby cousin, they didn't see anything. So it was a pretty good morning overall. But I'm sure as the evening goes on, it'll be action will heat up a little bit, hopefully. And then tomorrow is when we get to do some more walking. So stick with me. It's about 2:30. I made myself a little ground blind. Actually a little further down from where me and Coda were sitting this morning. And when I first walked in here, there was a truck parked right where we had entered from. And I looked and there was a dude walking down this transition line. And there was people up on the ridge behind me making a bunch of noise. But now I'm kind of sitting on the finger of this little itty bitty ridge, and there's deer in front of me right now. But they're in between me and this dude. And I lost sight of them because there's a bunch of pine trees kind of right in front of us, and they're kind of just going in and out of those and staying within that transition line. Oh, right in front of here, right in front of here. There was 2 of them. I don't know where the other one went. There it goes right there. Oh, man. Come on, guys, walk out in the shooting lane for me. I don't even know where those deer went. Because there was 2 of them. And they both were over here. And I'd seen glimpses of the bigger one. And that was the one that looked like it was coming kind of towards me. And then it looked like it stopped behind a tree. And then when I went to move the camera or whatever, it must have moved. There was a 3rd deer over here, and they're still over here, but I seen the fawn through the brush a little ways, kind of just chilling out. It's still right here. Or at least I think it's a fawn. I have no idea. But the bigger one, or another fucking deer, noise in there. And then this guy that's behind me somewhere, I don't even see him now. But this is a good lesson to learn. Blind placement and orientation. I'm sure this blind will be absolutely perfect in the morning with the sun rising to our back. But right now, during the afternoon, it is beating into my eyeballs. And the shadow from the ridge is casting all along this hillside. But the sun still hits my eyeballs, so I can't see anything on the side of that ridge until it gets later on, which kind of sucks. Which is fine, because we got probably about an hour before I'll be able to really see some stuff. And hopefully they'll be a little more active then too. I'm surprised that I even seen them deer when I did. It was like 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the afternoon. It kind of just looks like a big doe and a yearling or a fawn. So I mean, if I can get a crack at that big one, that'd be great. If I get a crack at any of them, that'd be great. But I gotta not have the sun in my eyeballs first. But we're just gonna sit here and wait it out, and we'll see if anything else kind of pokes on by here. They've been moving quite a bit over here, so I'm hopeful we'll see maybe one or two more. Hopefully get a shot on one before it gets too dark. So let's stick with it. this is at half. He was right here. Now it looks far away. That is like 4 yards. If I had a little Debbie, I would have offered it to him. That is awesome. But yeah, I mean, I've shot way too many fawns. I'll be the one to admit I have shot a lot of fawns thinking that they were does, or just because I say, screw it. Meat's meat, but want a little more bang for my buck this year, and if I'm gonna fill a doe tag, it's gonna be on a semi-decent doe, not a button buck. That could be a future 200-inch deer right there. Or he could end up dead tomorrow. I mean, you never know. But I didn't shoot him. I had a really cool encounter. Like, that's probably one of the closest encounters I've had to a deer out here. That's awesome. But if he's running around, his mama should be running around, or his granddaddy should be running around. So hopefully we'll have one of those scoot their way back this way. I think he should be fine. But that was awesome. That was super cool. That'll make for a cool video, even if I don't shoot one. Oh, man. That's awesome. Alright, guys, it's a little dark, but we're about like 8 minutes to shooting light. I'm in that same blind that I made yesterday. I'm kind of hoping they do the same thing that they were doing yesterday with me in Dakota. Dakota, unfortunately, did not make it this morning. He was a wee bit too tired. But that's fine, more deer for me. We'll get him out another day, and you guys can see him then. I want him to get his first deer this year, so yeah, we're sitting here, we're on a good spot. I'm right on the edge of a little finger, and I can look down and in this draw right in front of me. And straight ahead of me, probably 70 yards or so, is the very corner of the clear cut that my grandpa is sitting in. And me and grandpa have seen the most deer so far. So, fingers crossed it happens again today, but we'll see. But wish me luck. Alright. It's 8 o'clock right now. And I thought I caught a glimpse of something like a minute or two before shooting light back over here. Otherwise it's just been squirrels, so heard a few shots this morning, nothing crazy, nothing really close. Kind of sounds like a majority of the shots are coming back from either way back here in one of these other clear cuts, or way, way back, kind of towards the creek down that way. But otherwise because there hasn't been any shots up close. And everything is slow moving this morning. So I think here about 8:30, 9 o'clock, give or take. Pack all this up. And then I'm going to walk up this ridge and try to make a push out to Grandpa and Daniel and see if they can get on anything. Yeah, sounds like a plan. walked a good, I want to say half mile, but it's probably more than that. But we're out in that spot that we walked around yesterday. Found a good little deadfall here. Just decided to sit here for a minute and edit some stuff, and kind of figured I wouldn't really see anything over here, but I'm hearing stuff all around that's not squirrels. But blue jays over there are going crazy, the woodpeckers are going crazy, squirrels are barking everywhere, so I think there is something walking around in here. I just can't see it, or it's too far off to really tell. But I think what I'm going to end up doing, and I'm going to pack all this up, and then I'm going to head back to camp, eat something real quick, and then I'm going to end up going home to grab my GoPro charger and some other stuff that I forgot. And then I'll be back here for evening hunt, and then I'll have a GoPro, hopefully, instead of walking around with my phone on my back through all the brush and stuff. Which, I mean, I'm sure the picture's nice, but I don't want to really be slapping my phone around off trees and stuff to get some decent footage. So, and this is my that's my action cam mount right now. But yeah, I think that'll be the plan. I mean, what'll probably happen is when I put this phone away and I pack everything up and I start walking out is when I'm going to see a deer that I'm going to be able to shoot, and I'm not going to be able to record it. But the quicker I get out of here, the quicker I can come back for an evening hunt. I think I might sit over here in that corner where we seen a lot of that feeding sign over there. Either that, or I'll take a loop and I'll go on the other side of that big clear cut and see if there's any action over there. I've been hearing a lot of shots out that way, so we'll see. All right, it is day 3 of deer camp. I'm in the same blind I was yesterday morning when I heard one bump off the ridge yesterday when a guy was walking up along the ridge here. I never got a chance to look at it, but I know it was within 80 yards. It was just in the thick stuff and I couldn't see it. But it's about 5 minutes to shooting light, and already I've heard, anyway, right up on the ridge here. It sounded like it was 40-50 yards away. It sounded like a buck chasing a doe, or a buck cruising. They came down the ridge here and then were in front of me for a little bit, and it sounded like they went back on the ridge. So hopefully they keep up with that here within the next 10-15 minutes, but we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure the action, I think, is either gonna really, really wind down, or it's really gonna pick up, because we got rain coming in this afternoon, and then tomorrow we're just supposed to get dumped on like the whole day. Man, I thought I was going crazy there for a second. it sounded like a tree or something fell right by them and then they took off. But I thought I could hear something up here, kind of just walking around, eating. And I thought they were squirrels at first, but just kind of goes to show that it doesn't need to be super windy for them deadfalls to fall down, or them widowmakers to fall down. Because I heard another one back here too. It sounded like it was a big chunk of tree that fell down, but I didn't hear anything run away from that one. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll circle back or something. It looked like a pretty good sized doe and a fawn. I think it was actually the same two that I seen opening day in the afternoon. They came out of the clear cut here and they were right in front of me. I was trying to get on them and I couldn't. So that's cool. Alright, I'm gonna watch for deer a little bit longer. It's like it's a little past 7:30 right now, so still got plenty of time. I have not heard a lot of shots this morning. Bear in mind it's Monday, but I've heard 6 shots this morning total. And a majority of them were that way. It sounded like they were across the creek, and then there was a couple that were close, but it sounded like they were past the road here. So we'll just keep an eye out. Obviously they're moving around. I mean, if these trees keep falling around everywhere, they'll probably just get pushed to me via nature. But that's cool. At least I got to see something today. Alright, I'm going to keep watching for deer. So it's, a little past 8:30. And we had them 3 does a little while ago. And they went that way. They were up on this ridge right here, up on the embankment. And they all went this way in the same direction. I don't know if they like cut across into here and went down and bedded up on this next ridge, or if they turned around and went straight back up that way, up to where all this thick birch is. But I was just getting ready to call her and pack it in. That way I've got time to go make my loop yet before I gotta go pack up. I'm sitting here and I hear something behind me. And it's getting closer and closer and closer. I'm getting ready and I'm looking around the tree and I don't see anything. And then I hear voices. And I turn around and I've got this big oak tree right here. And I'm sitting behind it. I'm sitting on this side. And literally straight behind me, like 50 yards, there's a guy. And he keeps walking. And I look and it's a kid and his dad, it looked like. So that's cool, getting this kid out hunting. That's awesome. But I was kind of hoping that they'd push something this way, but I suppose they'd have to be on top of the ridge. So they went that way. So what I think I'm going to do for them, because I'm a nice guy like that, is I'm going to head straight up this ridge and basically walk the same way I did yesterday. And hopefully there isn't a bunch of people sitting on that darn trail over here. That way I can just walk straight down it, and then I'll just go up and do my big loop, because I've been hearing a lot of shots off that way and that way this morning, a majority of them. But I mean, I've been seeing deer too. I just either can't shoot them or I'm not paying attention. I'm talking to the camera. So I think that'll be the plan. I got the GoPro on my head this time, so it'll be a little easier to record me walking. So I think we'll just go ahead and start walking and see what we can see. If we can push one of them, that's awesome. Near that, or Grandpa should still be in a stand, and I have no idea where Dad is. I think he's in his ground blind, and that's that way. So yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Here we go. Change of plans. Grandpa just shot one, so I'm gonna go help him drag it out, because it was close. About a third of the way done with my loop. It is 11:36. We bumped up one doe back over this way, and literally if I was one step to the right, I would have seen her, because she's on this trail that I'm on right now, and she stopped right on it and was staring at me, and I couldn't see her. If I was literally a foot to the right, I probably could have smoked her. But live and learn. But we're going into a spot now where I constantly bump deer out of beds. So I'm hoping I can do the same thing. And they're going up behind me, and the clear cut is up behind me here. So maybe we can bump one or two. And then as soon as we get to this back side of this clear cut here, we're gonna have to kind of hurry up a little bit, because we got rain coming, and they wanted to pack up and get out of here before it got too bad. So I'm gonna keep walking. Well, there we go. We are officially leaving deer camp. And we're just going to be running around still hunting for the longest time until season ends. So So I'm going to put the phone down and make sure Grandpa doesn't tip that camper over. And I'll see you guys back at the house. Well, alright guys, we're back at Grandpa's house here, where I'm going to be living for the next 2 days. And we got the deer hung up on the tractor. That's the buck that Daniel shot. And then there's the nubbin buck that Grandpa shot this morning. In total, I seen the most deer today, but I could not get a shot on any of them. But should be some good eating. We'll probably get these guys skinned out probably Wednesday or so. We'll let them hang for a few days. And then usually right after everybody's done with Thanksgiving is when we start doing stuff to them. But I think I'm going to end this video here. It's probably going to be quite a long one. It's 2-3 days of me running around, and yeah, and then hopefully I can get these next couple episodes. It'll just be days. But this will be 1 through 3 of the 9-day season. Got plenty more season to go. If the deer cooperate, should have some luck, and we should get a couple down, hopefully. We'll be running around in places where I'll actually have some more doe tags. So I ain't got to worry about just shooting one. I can shoot multiple. But I'm going to leave this here. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who watched. Stay safe out there, and see you next time.